parked my car here in Porthmadog. It's the little store is based here, also a Millets, and over the road is Gellet. Now I'm going for a walk, can't quite see it from here, but Moel y Gest. It's an 800-foot ascent, and the sun appears to have come out today after well, 3 very not very nice days. On this path there's a pretty good signpost, Moel y Gest, and starts off this busy road, and I begin my ascent. I've ascended maybe 100 feet or so. The first part of this walk is in woodland, and I've still got about 750 feet to go, but so far so good. This is probably a popular walk for the locals and the local dog walkers, so there's quite a few trails through this wood, so I'll choose this one and see if it's the right one. The sun's still shining. I've climbed maybe a little over 200 feet from the road, and this is where the paths branch. And that one there is the public right of way. It's an actual official footpath. This one is a non-official footpath which goes to the top of Moel y Gest. This is where I emerge from the wood and into quite a nice view of Porthmadog, and the moorlands in the back, Sinich on the left, the northern Retracing, and the rocks here hopefully have dried out with this little bit of sunshine we're having. You can see some people on the path, so as the sun has come out, this would be a nice little walk for people staying in that caravan site down there for the August bank holiday, the 24th of August. Gaining some height, probably over 300 feet, and there's a nice rowan tree there. The actual summit of Moel y Gest is about 3/4 of a kilometre along this ridge. Down there is Porthmadog, I don't know how it's pronounced. It looks quite a large housing estate, and the Black Rock sands are beyond, and Cricketh and the Lune Peninsula. The sun unfortunately has gone in, so this is the actual ridge of Moel y Gest, which seemed to have ascended without too much trouble. Didn't take too long. I had a little rest here, and this is a rocky trail over to the actual summit over there, which is just under 900 feet above sea level. Several people up here now, and being on the ridge, there's a nice little breeze which has picked up, and this is actually, although it's under 1,000 feet, is many ways could be classified as a mountain. People down there enjoying the view. And this is good exercise. Negotiating this ridge. It's quite a rocky trail. Over there is Moel y Gest. See, there's a little rowan tree there growing on this ridge top, and you can see it's quite mountainous terrain. And I've been living up here 12 years, and I have climbed this twice before, but I think the last time was well over 5 years ago. I think ahead of me is a false summit. But that's the typical little bit of rock scrambling that's involved on this Moel y Gest walk. I don't know if you can see, that's the lower summit, the first summit, and there are people on the top of that. Here's another junction of the path. I'm a good way along the ridge, and I could clamber up there about maybe 50 feet over slippery, damp rocks, but there appears to be a trail going through these ferns, so there might be a more convenient route to the summit along here. The summit's in sight, just over 100 yards ahead, and I did the direct route. I didn't go through the ferns. That was probably a dead end, but it's still quite clear. Moel y Gest, and well, I say I'm roughly nearly 900 feet above sea level here, which is an excellent all-round viewpoint. You can't see Snowdon. That's instilling clouds. Okay, I'm on the summit of Moel y Gest, and it wasn't too bad, but except for the climbing over greasy rocks, which I no longer like doing. There's the summit Trigstone, and I can see this summit quite clearly from my house over there, about, well, as a crow flies, maybe 5 miles away. Now, I have to decide if I go back the same way or descend down towards the caravan site and then through Porthmadog, which would be an extra mile of walking. I'm just off the summit, and you can see this footpath is pretty clear, and I have an idea it'll go down to the campsite, down to the caravan site. Here's where I maybe should go, but well, let's see what happens. You can see the mountainous aspect of this Porthmadog mountain, Moel y Gest. And down there, those two young women have already, no problem, they've descended down. You probably may not be able to see them with this camera. I just come down there, maybe 200 feet, and you can see the crags on the seaward side of Moel y Gest. Now I may go along to that dip and climb the lower summit again, and that might be a better idea. But I'll got another 50 feet or so to descend to the wall. There's the crag faces. Quite impressive really for a hill that's under 1,000 feet high. Just came down there, and I'll go down here and possibly strike off to the left, and then I'll have another 200 foot of ascent up to the lower summit on the upper side. The skyline to the left there, just above the dip, I can see a party of walkers. Well, they just disappeared. But here's another junction of paths, so another decision to make. That way leads away from Porthmadog, but this looks a pretty clear path, and I've already descended, basically, probably not too far short of 400 feet. I've got this place to myself. There's no one in sight at the moment, and up there there's some good quality rock faces which would be good for rock climbers, for beginners at least. And when I was 12 years old, I missed out on a trip to Porthmadog, and I think the school teacher, who was I think a keen rock climber, that's probably where he took the party of school kids, right there on those rocks. But meanwhile, I'll carry along this kind of like a sea of ferns, but there's a clear footpath going through, but where it leads I'm not sure. I've descended down there through that sea of ferns on quite a nice footpath, but the path did branch off to the left to climb that summit, but this path doesn't look quite as well defined, but I think it leads towards the caravan site. The sun's gone in, so with this camera I have to cut as much of the sky out as possible. But there is the wilderness of ferns, but there's a rough path that's been forced through it, and looks like I'm turning a corner here, and I'll see what's next. There's the caravan site, but unfortunately I'll come to a dead end. This path ends here, as far as I can see, at gorse bushes. So I've descended, well, most of the way down. So now it appears as though I'm going to have to climb all the way back up again. That's the way I came down. And but I noticed just looks like a path along here, which maybe does lead somewhere. Rather than climb right up there, several hundred feet above me, and then the steep descent on the other side, side below me. But this, you can see this path is hardly promising. I might still have to go up there 500 feet or more, and come back to where there's a junction in the path, and I unfortunately have to climb up there several hundred feet. That led to nowhere. So see. Hopefully this isn't a dead end. Something might just be starting to come out. You can see how people have forced their way through these ferns. There's no actual footpath here, but maybe you can get through. Okay, I'm back on the actual footpath here. There's more or less where I was, not far, about an hour ago. There's that rock face, and that's the turning I should have taken down there. As it is, I had to make my way rough walking through those ferns. So, about a 300-foot climb to the that summit, maybe 400 feet, but then the steep descent on the other side. There's someone on the ridge up there. Okay, I've attained the ridge, and now I've got 100 foot or so ascent, and then a 750 foot descent. And unfortunately I only brought one banana with me and a couple of water, so this is I should have completed this walk, well, about an hour ago, but I'll say I'll hold out. I think I'm alright. This is the eastern summit of Moel y Gest, and over there's the actual real summit, over half a mile of scrambling trail. So I begin the descent now, I think, down to the road, about 750 feet below me. You can see the end in sight. I'm about maybe just over 100 feet above the wood, and then it's a 200-foot descent through the wood to the road. There's a caravan site that I hoped to have passed through on the way back, and I'm about halfway down. So the only thing I don't really like are the slippery rocks, which with the muddy boots are a problem. There's a nice silhouette there of the Moens and the Welsh Matterhorn.